Welcome back to Inside City Hall. After representing parts of Manhattan in the City Council for nearly 8 years, Councilwoman Carlina Rivera has resigned from the job. While Rivera was term limited out of office, her departure comes nearly 4 months before the end of her term. And she joins me now to reflect on her time in the council and talk about what's next. Welcome back to the program. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you.
So you are term limited, so you're going to have to find a new job anyway, but it's only August, about 4.5 months left in your term. So why'd you decide to step away now?
Well, it's such a bittersweet moment for me. 8 years in the council. I have really loved the job, and it's become a part of my identity in the best way possible. Born and raised in my district. I'm now raising my 1- and 2-year-old sons there. And I've really enjoyed being a public servant. Now we have a new Democratic nominee. He's sure to win the general. He's going to be able to lead our district early, now that I'm leaving my post early. And I now get to lead the nation's largest affordable housing association, and the time certainly feels right.
So talk about the job. This is the New York State Association for Affordable Housing. It's a trade association, right? So it represents affordable housing developers, right? What's the mission of the group?
The mission is simple. They are a mission-driven organization. They want to preserve and build affordable housing. They're really well known for their advocacy on housing policy and also for the conferences that they do. They do affordable housing conferences upstate and downstate, really focusing on the issues affecting New Yorkers across the counties.
So, I mean, affordable housing is obviously such an important topic and has been an important topic, you know, in some of the campaigns and so forth. You were a supporter of the City of Yes, right, which was to change zoning laws in order to make it easier to get housing built all around the city. Is it more of that type of thing where we're trying to relax regulations maybe and just build more housing to try to build our way out of this crisis?
You know, I've always made it a cornerstone of my career to build and preserve affordable housing. I think preservation is really, really important as well, and I've tried to do that in my district and citywide. City of Yes was a great creative solution. It's something that was really overdue as well. I remember in my term, I did the Soho-NoHo rezoning, and we've since looked at how do we get every neighborhood to do their fair share. Why NYSAFA is such a powerful organization. They have so much talent and credibility within the membership organization. You have lenders, people in financial services, affordable housing developers, and talented people who are really devoted to New York State and who want to see us thrive. And supply is important. It's on the campaign trails. It's what everyone is talking about. And we really do need hundreds of thousands of units to really keep up with the population and for people that move here, for families to thrive. So I feel like the time is now. It's really on everyone's lips, this topic. And this is the organization to really ensure that we're building coalitions and pushing good, sensible policy.
Let's talk about some of the highlights of your time in office. You passed dozens of pieces of legislation. If you had to pick your proudest accomplishment, whether legislation or some kind of legacy project or really anything from your time in office, what are the biggest highlights?
All right, 44 local laws. It's hard to pick one. I've had really historic bills on transit, ensuring that pedestrians and cyclists are safer. We passed the nation's first abortion access fund. I really want to highlight Civic Hall, which is a civic tech and a landmark workforce development center. And I also want to mention the Lower East Side Girls Club, the New Eurekan Poets Cafe, making sure that we renovated the Delacorte, which just reopened to the public. And really affordable housing has been really a landmark achievement. I will say the the East Side Coastal Resiliency Project is something that is still underway, and one of those things that, you know, that you want to be invited back for the ribbon cutting. Right. You spend so much time on it, but really the housing piece started when I was an organizer in my own community, and now making this transition, finding the common ground that we all think that people deserve safe, stable housing. That's what makes the transition to NYSAFA such a natural step.
That was more than one highlight, but I'll let it go. What about the biggest challenge from your time in the council, whether it was any particular episode or maybe a part of the job that turned out to be harder than maybe you were expecting?
Well, the hardest part right now is leaving the job, I would say. The staff there, my colleagues are incredible. We also have this staff, my own staff in my district, but in the city council itself, so many talented public servants. I'd say probably one of the biggest challenges is really trying to figure out how you finance some of these projects and how do you also do it while having a federal government that continues to threaten really reasonable programs like Section 8, which would gut communities and counties across the state. Many people upstate are reliant in terms of their rentals on HUD assistance. So it's really been that financing piece and unclogging that pipeline in HPD to make sure that we close on projects and build housing. That's been the toughest part, is always the finance piece.
All right, so now you're leaving. You can speak freely and tell us what you really think, right? Let me ask you about Mayor Adams. What do you think of the mayor and this increasingly contentious relationship that he seems to have with the council? He's vetoing pieces of legislation left and right.
You know, it's unfortunate because we are co-equal branches of government. We've been able to ensure that we've passed, 125,000 units of housing. We've secured $8 billion in capital. These are things where we work together. So there's going to be contention. There's always going to be debate. There should be checks and balances and accountability. It's unfortunate, when you're challenged like that. And I think the speaker has done a remarkable job. She has led the city and united a diverse body in a way that I'm not seeing with frequency across the country. And I'm really proud to have worked with her and my colleagues. So I hope that we can make peace, get it done, and also make sure that we're putting New Yorkers first.
What are your thoughts on the mayor's race? What do you think of Zohran Mamdani, the Democratic nominee?
I think he's a great guy. He's the Democratic nominee. He got there by putting forward a campaign that really discussed how we have to continue to lay the foundation to create a city that is more affordable. And people really responded to that. He's going to have a race ahead of him. I'm excited to bring him in and talk to some of the members at NYSAFA. I've actually already spoken to a member of his team about having that conversation. And it's that listening tour that he's going on. It's that openness to speaking to different stakeholders and allies that really is assuring people that he wants to build a better New York.
You're also active with the Department of Corrections and legislation on Rikers and on other issues. What happens going forward with Rikers? I mean, this is one of the biggest issues that's going to face the incoming mayor. The plan is to close Rikers, but not a lot has been done in that direction, at least by Mayor Adams.
That's such a tragic issue because we had a mandate to close Rikers, and right now we are not on track to meet that legal mandate. We have over 7,000 people that are incarcerated, people that have been diagnosed with a mental illness, people that have cycled in and out of homelessness and incarceration. I just passed the bill on Thursday, my last bill, to really expand the criteria for supportive housing, which is what people need with mental health issues for wraparound services. We need to build more of that too. And it's a place where it has just become a real humanitarian issue. So I'm hoping that we can figure out how to reduce the population, invest in alternatives to incarceration, actually get people to court, and then make sure that they're going on to live a more stable life, because recidivism is just, it's not working in terms of what we have in place now, and we need to really think of public safety for the city in a more holistic way.
You mentioned your successor, likely successor, Harvey Epstein, the assemblyman who won the Democratic primary, we expect will likely win in November. So Harvey Epstein will take your seat if and when he wins the election in November. Just a few seconds left, but what advice do you have for Harvey Epstein if he wins your seat?
To always, put our constituents first, especially those who I feel like are disenfranchised systemically, and those are the families living in NYCHA, people that are living in low-income housing. I come from Section 8 housing. I grew up with a single mom. She worked really hard, and it was that subsidy that got me to where I am. So just, remember those folks who are working so hard, multiple jobs, and to enjoy it. It's one of the best jobs in the city. It was the honor and privilege of a lifetime, and to work with really smart people on great policy.
All right, Councilwoman outgoing Councilwoman Carlina Rivera, you've still got the seat for a little while yet. Thank you so much and congratulations.
Thank you.